Hey, everybody.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome back to another fantastic edition of the His and Her Money Show. We are glad to have you here with us because you don't have to be, but we are grateful that you are. Welcome to another special episode. I think this is a first for His and Her Money.
Is it?
Yes, this is the first time we had somebody who was in the past an in the middle guest. And that's a feature that we have to where we feature people who are in the middle of the journey.
Not necessarily like directly in the middle, but they're just on the journey exactly of becoming debt free. And so we want to start to bring some of those couples and individuals back on the show to see where they are currently and if they got out of debt or if they're still on the journey.
Maybe a little closer.
Yeah, and just they'll be able to help you all out as well, too.
So this is a first because this is our first in the middle guest who is coming back for an update on their journey. And just like you learned a whole lot from where they were back then, we think you're going to learn a whole lot more from what they have accomplished since the last time we got to speak.
And we'll make sure that we have their previous episode in the show notes in case you want to like watch that first. You know, it's almost like watching like a television show. You don't want to watch.
You can binge into Her Money like Netflix,
but you don't want to watch the current episode. You want to go back and see part one first and then listen to this one.
All right. So we have Dr. Elzie and Vaughn Mitchell back on the His and Her Money Show to share their incredible story. So we're not going to delay this any further. Let's get Dr. Elzie and Vaughn back on so we can hear an update on their incredible journey. Hey, Dr. Elzie. Hey, Vaughn. Welcome back to the His and Her Money Show.
Hey, tell him. Hey, Tom.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Great.
We're great. Glad to have you back here with us, man, because you guys were on back in the day a little bit, and you guys were brave enough to come on and talk about your journey up to that point. You guys were in the midst of paying off your debt, and you had learned some things along the way that you were willing to share with our audience in order to help them. Now, some people might be being introduced to you for the very first time right here and right now, though. So for those who are being brand newly introduced to you, can you say hello to them and let them know what you guys are all about?
Well, hello. My name is Vaughn, and this is my husband,
Elzie,
Dr. Mitchell. We have 3 kids, ages
15.
Yeah, 15, 4, one to turn 5 this week, and then 2. And she acts like she's, she acts like she pays the bills around here. So, yeah, yeah. We do live in Northern Virginia.
Well, that's dope.
It is.
We're glad to have you back.
Thank you. Thanks for having us back.
So let's rewind the clock. Let's go back to the beginning of your debt freedom journey. Talk to us about where you guys started, how much debt you all were first initially in when you made the decision that you all were going to do something and get out of debt.
So my uncle had introduced me to Dave Ramsey, and I started following it. And fast forward, I tried to start paying off my student loan debt. And my husband felt like that if he paid the bills, like the mortgage, I'm still responsible for, the utilities, and I focus on my student loan, that we should be able to, or I should be able to get out of that debt. And it took years for me to get him on board to understand that it wasn't just my debt, it was our debt.
Our loan.
And that's where it all started. So it was just me having student loan debts. And then once we tried to start having a family, medical bills start coming up, and just bills in general. I thought it was called good debt, but really all debt is not good. So, and so that's where it started. I want to say 2015. That's when he started to get on board and realize that it was
communication was not there at first. So it was just me understanding that once I married into it, I assumed some debt. So we got the college loan, and then we started to talk in 2015 about tackling this thing together. So I think that's kind of like when we put everything together and we laid it all out and said, okay, this is what the loan is, and then this is kind of like what I own on the mortgage for our home in Georgia. So for the rental property and some other things. So, and what, credit cards and stuff like that. So
it was a total like 125. And then when we interviewed with you, we were like 2019, we were halfway there, but he was in grad school. A lot of things changed. He retired out of the military. So the amount of money we was bringing in at the time wasn't the same. And him, finding his way through being coming out the military took some time. So
plus sending me videos too. So I started at that point. Her uncle had introduced her to Dave Ramsey. So I was looking at it at that point, and we're looking at some other things, kind of finding the financial independence world and consuming some of that stuff. And I think we were actually looking at you guys too. So
I found you, introduced him to you, and that's when he was like, okay, yeah. They speak my language. They look like me. So let's talk.
From Chicago. Yeah. I know he's telling the truth. Yeah. I can get with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Glad we could help. Love this. Yeah, right. I love that. So everybody wants to know, are you guys now debt free?
We are now debt free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no credit cards. Yeah.
Love it.
Took a while,
now we're about to get into the nuts and bolts. Oh, absolutely love that. Congrats, you guys. Super proud of you all. And when you all reach out to us as far as, hey, we got an update. We're now debt free. Yes, absolutely. We wanted you all to be able to share with everybody what was some of the things that took place when you all were on our show in 2019. You were right sort of in the middle, you said, to now today. Take everybody through the steps. Let's talk about really what you all did to make that a reality, because some people give up. Some people don't. They have this dream, but they don't follow it all the way through. They give up in the middle, almost when they're that close. But you all chose not to give up. You all chose to continue.
It was a big number.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's start from 2019. Again, you guys, we'll make sure that we have the links in our show notes for you all to watch part one. But now part two, we're going to pick up from 2019 and talk about some of the things that you all did in order to knock out the rest of this day.
You know what? To just give an analogy, it's kind of like being on a diet. It's it's about the eating and calories you consume. So trying to be debt free is like a way of life. You know what I mean? So it's just, it may not look good all the time, but it's those things you got to do after repetition, just not spending your money unwisely and things like that. So it's kind of like a way of life. I heard you guys say it before though. You got to live this stuff, to get there. The number looks big, but if you keep chipping away, £1 at a time, $1 at a time, it goes down.
Even though in 2019, for 2020, we had a lot of trips planned, and we really didn't see ourselves getting out of debt until 2022? 2022, 23. We still was planning trips because we was like, we're not going to punish, just because we're trying to be debt free. We're not punishing ourselves. We're just going to pay for those trips in cash like we always did. But I would say what accelerated us to get out of debt was the pandemic.
Yeah. It's sad, but it kind of helped us. So.
Talk to us about what happened during the pandemic that you all, now that this world of ours had completely changed, what strategies did you put into place as the world was changing in order to accelerate the process for you guys to become debt free above and ahead of your projections?
So I think in the beginning, like as the world paused, we had a chance to look at everything again, try to re-examine in our lives, okay, and look at some of the stuff that we said we wanted to do. Like me, financially, I said I wanted to become more financially smart, you know, and then it was so many principles. A lot of the stuff that you guys cover, I actually started to implement. So instead of just looking at videos, just to look at them and not implementing these things, so I had a chance to move. I got rid of a financial planner I had with USAA, and I moved my accounts to in March 20 to Vanguard. So I got rid of that financial planner, and that actually helped me. So if you remember back in March, everything took a big dip, and then I moved my stuff, you know. So I moved everything to Vanguard.
Yeah, so yeah, it forced us to
implement things instead of just looking at it and like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get around to doing it. So we started executing things, you know.
Yeah, the world for once had kind of paused, and it made us think and read. We had time. Well, I didn't have time to read, but I did. I made time to read because the babies, but we really did. We read a lot of books. We really enjoyed J.L. Collins' book. I mean, it's such an easy read, and he's so informative. I have some books over here that, I mean, we just was like, got so in tune to it. And then once we started to read and understand, I don't know, something happened, and I don't mind being transparent about what happened. I don't even know how to explain it. But some years ago, after losing our son, I had moved my money from USAA to, I can't even tell you what the account is. And I know I was wrong for doing it. And I couldn't get my money back from what I was told. But every year I would get a statement saying that the money was in this Vanguard or something at S&P 500. And it always had zero. And I'm like, so I would call
the health insurance investment.
That's annuity or something. I don't know. So I would call the guy, he would explain, and I'll understand while we're talking. And then I hang up and I'm like, I don't get what he was saying, which lesson, you know, if you don't get it, don't do it. So, make a long story short, after reading all the books and stuff, and now I'm like J.L. Collins and some other stuff, I was like, I just got. And so I called the financial company. It's America, I don't know. Anyways, called them and they said, yeah, this money is yours. You can get it, but we could transfer it to another account such as it was like a Roth IRA account. And called Vanguard, they switched it over. And they were trying to say, but if you switch it now, you'll lose $5,000. And I'm like, I'm losing already because you're saying that I'm not making any money.
It didn't gain
any interest in nothing. But now that I transferred it over to Vanguard, I've made not only my money back, but some. And so it was just that aha moment that I don't think if it wasn't for the pandemic, we wouldn't have gotten to that.
To research and find out what the money was, and that the guy that was he was making money off of the interest, but she wasn't making money.
Right. So it was, we
got a chance to do that. And what else did we do? Oh, then we worked on our VA stuff. So I was stuck at 90%, and I tried to do a claim one time. Then I lost 10%, but I was still at 90%. And I'm like, hey, I got to do something else. So she had a friend that told us about a company.
Well, during that time, we did get rid of a lot of stuff too.
Oh yeah. So we did, that's along like what, minimalist stuff. Yeah. So we started getting rid of clothes that, you know, those things that you always want to keep, but you never find time to wear. So I had some stuff that I had for like years with tags, but I never wore it. You know, I always kept it because of the tag. So we started to put like dates on it. Like, if I don't wear this in a year, I'm going to let it go. So,
but during that time, we was like, let's just get rid of it.
Yeah, to get space.
Yeah, and the motorcycle, he finally got rid of that.
I didn't ride it.
Yeah, so. He didn't. I told him it's best for him to stay alive. I need him alive than be on a motorcycle. And God, clothes, motorcycle. Oh my God, we got rid of so much stuff, and we realized that we didn't need it. And I'm still purging and getting rid of things, just because we just don't use it or don't need it. And it forced us to be a family.
Love it. What I love about what you guys are sharing, and I hope that people that are listening, sometimes you're looking for this big thing, this one big thing, be like, oh, but if you really listen to their story, and the story that you all are sharing, you all took, you all took an opportunity, during the pandemic to really reevaluate your standards, your finances, what you all wanted in life, what was important, what was not. And believe it or not, that does impact your finances. I think sometimes we can be so busy, go, that we don't really sit down and look, where's our money invested? Have I looked at my 401k statement? Have I looked at my IRA statements? Have I looked at my bank accounts? Am I paying any unnecessary fees? Am I paying for things that I don't currently use? Do I have a closet full of clothes that I'm currently not wearing, right? And that I can sell? And I think that's so very important, you guys. And everybody that's listening, I don't want you all to miss this point. Evaluate where you currently are. Take an inventory of your finances, of your health, of your family life. Are you spending time with your family? Look at how it's impacting your finances and start to make changes. You all did these little things that added up, and now you all can literally say that you're completely debt free right now. And I also want to talk about the military. We have a lot of people that listen to us that are military or veterans, and sometimes they're not even aware of some of the advantages that they can take part in that can also help them in their finances. So I want to talk about that part of your story. When we first met in 2019 and we shared your story, this was not a part of your story per se. You all were able to use, and I'll let you all share it, but talk about how the military was also able to help you guys on your journey, your financial journey.
Yeah, I could start.
Go ahead.
So Mitch and I call him Mitch. Dr. Mitchell is
okay.
is retired veteran, and I'm just a veteran. And when I got out the military, I started off with either 10 or 20%, and last year, towards the end of last year, I was 60% and he was at 90%, and that's what he was about to talk about. So in 2019, I had a girlfriend who went through a program that will help veterans get the benefits that they deserve. And I was thinking about leaving my job to go to another job, and my current job pays for the kids' daycare or half of it. And so I was trying to think of ways that I can make up that money if I did move to a different position within the government. And so spoke to her, and she was like, hey, I got 100%, and it took them 3 months for me to get it. And I'm like, for real? Like, God, I've been trying to fight for some stuff that's taken me over 8 to 10 years, and the VA still hasn't responded back. So she gave me that information in 2019, and I didn't take it serious until the week before COVID. I'll never forget. I was at work and I was like, I gotta, it's time for me to move. Not something wrong with the job. It's just like, it's just time for me to move. And I emailed them then and requested a meeting. And then that next week, COVID happened. And so it took the company, some time to set up, like everyone else. It took everyone some time to set up. So
COVID procedures.
Yeah, the COVID procedures. So from there, that's when I started. I'll never forget, March of 2020, I started the VA process of doing some claims. And then from there, I think it was a couple of months later, Mitch also started with his process. But it was me first that came out with 100%, and I'm 100% plus, and I'll get to that later. And then I think a month or a couple of weeks later, he got awarded 100%. And so that with the VA benefits, that has opened up so many doors and opportunities where we are actually at our FI number. But I'm going to retire, but he's going to continue working. But it's helped because what veterans don't understand is that you may feel okay when you got out or today, but you're not the same body or the same mental or physically the same when you went into the military, and you should be compensated for that. So there's so many benefits as far as we don't have to pay taxes on our home, which saves us about $1,000 a month. You don't have to pay. We live in Northern Virginia, so you have to pay for the tax on the cars. We exempt from that. Even I think the tag. I can't tag. Yeah. We're exempt from. We could go to national parks for free. We did do an RV trip this past March, so staying in some of the camps were free or at a nice discount. Our kids, including ourselves, can go to college for free. And that eliminates, and they also get a stipend, monthly stipend and school books. And I have more information on that, and I can share. You can send a link for others to look at. But you have to also look at, this is tax-free money. So you not being taxed on this money, this is all yours, and which makes a huge difference. Plus health benefits from dental. I use the VA for dental. I can also get insurance and medical and dental insurance for the entire family if I needed to. But there's so much out there. And like today we had our VA appointments. Mine was virtual. He had to come in, but the VA is doing their best to provide good service to their veterans. It's just the veterans need to take advantage of it.
So many people, I guess, don't get the stuff, maybe they're too proud or feel that they don't deserve it or whatever, but you deserve it because you put in the time. So I would suggest that people seek out and see what you actually qualify for, because it's a lot out there. Just looking at the from our previous trip that we took, the National Park Service offers you where you can pay $10 for a 100% disabled veteran. And you can go to like places like we just went on a day trip to Maryland, Assateague Island, and that's a place noted to have like the wild horses and stuff like that. And we got in there for free. So, you can go to Assateague Island, you go all the national parks, Yellowstone, you get in there for free. It's a lot of endless places you can go.
And even if you're not 100%, just the fact that you're going back and getting service from the VA is still beneficial. I mean, you can still get discounts at stores, so many places. You'll be surprised. I'm still learning. I just found out there's scholarships out there for veterans. You don't have to be disabled, but as long as you're a veteran, if you have a child that's in kindergarten to college, they will, they'll grant you up to $5,000 to go towards the tuition or books or whatever. Also, if you're K through 12, if they attend public school, but they have services like they need mathnasium or any type of tutoring session, they will pay for that also. So it's Kumon. Yeah. So it's so much out there that I'm learning, that we're learning, that we're like, and to be honest, that's another thing that really got us to become, just take us right over to become debt free, because what we bring in together just with our disability is what some people make in, just for me, some people make that in a whole month. And so that helped a lot, where I'm able to, I can walk away.
Discounts too, sometime on local stuff, like in the city of DC, they have a thing where if you're 60%, at least 60% or more, you can get a free Metro pass or a discounted Metro pass. So you pay half the fares. So I was traveling to work for like half of what everybody was doing, you know. So the locals sometimes have some stuff. Like sometimes you can get like a discounted fishing permits and stuff. So you just got to check out there and see what the
because each state is different. The state of Virginia, if you're 90% or higher college education, the public schools in Virginia are free to your dependents, and private, they pay a certain amount and they have another scholarship that can cover it. So it's so much. We were even able to purchase a duplex during the pandemic. So, and that has been some good passive income coming from there too.
In the Fort Campbell area.
Fort Campbell by military. So that I'm saying, with the VA benefits, we've learned how to maneuver and how it's like, wow.
Trying to build that passive income.
Right.
I love that. I don't want to just like skip over that.
Well, hold on.
They purchased a duplex.
We're going to come back to the duplex.
They purchased a duplex.
We're going to come back to the duplex. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure everybody.
And some other stuff that happened too, but.
I want to make sure everybody's up to speed.
Wow.
Because we understand the language, because we live it just like they live it. But for those who are unfamiliar with the language, when they are talking about, I was 60%, I was stuck at 90%, what they're referring to is this. All people who entered the military, no matter if it's for a couple years or some people go on to do 20, 25, 30 years, it's a very physically taxing career. And so one of the things that you have to do when you exit after your time is up in the military is you have to take an exit physical. Okay. And they are evaluating, because of the physical and in a lot of ways, the mental demands that you put on yourself during your military career. If during that time period you have experienced some injuries that are probably going to be permanent, or if you are now dealing with some mental health issues because of your time in service, you will qualify, depending on the veracity of those injuries, a certain percentage. And that comes to you in the form of a disability check, meaning a disability income for the rest of your life. And so depending on the doctor's evaluations, the psychological evaluations, the Veterans Affairs say, based on everything that you went through, you qualify for this percentage. So I just want to make sure everybody listening who's unfamiliar with the terminology gets it. And now it was part of their journey. Go ahead.
You have to take that serious, that exit thing you was talking about.
Examination.
The exit examination is important.
Fair. And it's before the exit examination, because even soldiers, and when I say soldiers, sailors, whatever, Marines. Just
in the mindset, I want to be done. So you got to be in that, take that thing serious, and
and make sure that you jot down everything. Even if you have an ingrown toenail, I know that sounds crazy, you have to jot it down, because we are encouraged to not go to sick call. And sick call is basically saying, in civilian terms, take sick leave. You're not encouraged. And if you do get a doctor to write it, leadership looks down on you on that. But if you know that you're going to get out before your time, or you do your whole 20 years, you need to make sure that you keep all medical records. And even if you don't, let me add this. I had a friend who had 0%, and I told him about my situation. For years, I've been telling him, you need to go to the VA. You need to go to he lives like less than 10 minutes from the DC VA office. I'm like, go. He had zero, even no medical records. And they got him from 0 to 40%. And they're still working to increase his disability claim. So I'm saying, even if you have zero, go.
Yes, check it out.
Go, because you're not the same person. I did not know some of the issues I had until I went back to the VA. It was just weird. I have that. I didn't know that. You'd be very surprised.
Imagine a life where your money isn't strangled by mortgage payments. Imagine what you could do when you don't have to send them money that you work so hard for. Come get simple, powerful, and real solutions to eliminating monthly mortgage payments forever. America's #1 money couple presents Crush My Mortgage. In this exclusive course, you will be equipped with strategies to help you move faster toward the promised land of owning your house free and clear. Learn strategies to help you in the areas of payment acceleration, extra income generation, and wealth creation, all to help you crush your mortgage. Visit crushmymortgage.com and get started today. Join us on the path to power, freedom, and legacy. That's crushmymortgage.com.
That's why I'm so happy that we bring individuals on the show to be able to share their story, because I believe that there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be helped by this episode. Again, military personnel, veterans. There's so many different things out there that, again, you may not even realize that you qualify for. And here it is, this couple took advantage of that, and they're still taking advantage of some of the different things that come with it, especially if you serve this country. I mean, I feel like, hey, y'all deserve it. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service, even to my hubby. And you guys, make sure that you all look into this. We're going to make sure that we have links in the show notes, in the description box, that can help you, some resources that this beautiful couple has shared with us, that we're going to share with you. If you all want to look further into maybe receiving disability and just different resources that are out there for veterans and for military personnel, you all take advantage of this. You all were able to literally, again, maximize your finances just by doing this. I mean, taking a family trip can be very, very expensive. We took a few this summer, and you all were able to go to like the national parks and stuff for free or for a discount. And just to see the benefits that has helped your family. I absolutely love that. I want you all to talk a little bit more about buying this duplex. I think that's
out of state,
big. And also, you mentioned something about you receiving more than 100% or something. I didn't even know that was possible. So there are people that are like, wait a minute, rewind. Tell us about this. How can I potentially make more than 100% or receive more than 100%? And then talk about this duplex.
Okay. So, I'll be transparent. I won't put too much of my HIPAA stuff out there, but I don't care. So what I would say is two things you just reminded me to let individuals know, that if I'll send you the link so they probably explain it better than I would, but in certain claims that you have, so let's say that you have sleep apnea, PTSD, hearing loss, reoccurring knee injuries, backs, and one of those areas is, say, 40%. And in the VA, let me tell you guys, have a weird math.
Yeah,
so
math
I cannot explain that
system is,
to you in this quick session. That's another video. But let's say you're 40% in one.
1 + 1 does not equal 2.
Correct.
Yeah. 40% in one and 30% in another. And that adds up to 70%. So that probably is not a good example. But if you are 70% and your back is still giving you issues, say you only get 40 to 70% for your back, right? And it's still giving you issues where you're not able to work. you can qualify as and I'm going to get the acronym wrong, but it's basically saying that you're not able to work. And you can get SSDI for that. So even if you, so what the VA would do is say, okay, you're 40% have issues with your back and you have 40% or 30% sleep apnea. We can combine those two and that will give you 70%, which we will grant you to say, no, you cannot work anymore. It's called I'll have the whole video name for you, but basically a lot of veterans do not know that you can receive SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, by being a disabled vet. And what you really want is to be permanent and total. When you get your rating. So if you get 100% and it doesn't say PNT or permanent and total, you want to work towards that, because that means that basically the VA won't come back and try and take away your money, downgrade you, which will take away money from you. So I've learned that piece. I learned a lot. So the reason why I get more money, because in one of my sections, one of my claims, I'm 100% in just that one particular area. And so they give me a supplement money, which helps with, you be like, what? Which helps with someone coming in, cleaning, helping around the house, or helping me, whatever it may be, because I'm 100% in that particular claim. So you can have 170% like I do, but the max you'll get paid is 100, but the VA will also give you supplementary money, which is additional money to help you with whatever issues you may have. And they also have something called assistant, and I'll also give you that information, assistant care. And it's basically, I can have where my husband is my caregiver, and he will get paid, and it's probably equivalent, they say equivalent to a GS-9. So that's like $2,500 tax-free money that he will get just for the fact that he assists me. I know a lot of veterans that bring in like $10,000 by themselves, and that's tax-free money.
You all are blowing my mind, because again, this is information that it's not necessarily like bam in your face and put out there. How are you all able to research this stuff, find this information out? Do you recommend that people file their own claim, or do you recommend that they go through a service? I know that there's a lot of companies out there that are taking advantage of veterans, and they can be scary, honestly, very, very scary. And I know that you all sent us one again that you all personally use. Again, we'll have everything in the show notes. But how do you recommend that people do it on their own, or do you recommend that people get an advocate, somebody to actually help them? And then how do you find out about all these different benefits and resources? Is this all online? Does your advocate tell you this? How did you all find out all of the benefits that you all were able to receive?
You know, when it comes to whether or not you should hire someone or not, I feel like that's up to you. When we tried to do it ourselves, it took longer and we got denied, or we only receive 0% that may said is military related, but they're not paying you for it, or we got taken away a percentage.
I lost one, so I'm like, hey. So I think it's all on your personal preference. So me personally, I know I'm not a medical person, and I felt my time was more valuable doing other stuff. So I elected to use VetComp and Penn, which is the one that we gave you. And basically this company, you know, we heard about, we seen a lot of videos on the ones that was taking you, because that was trending, I want to say a few months ago, about the people that was taking advantage of veterans with the claim. So this company was totally different. I didn't have to pay them to do anything up front. So they will do an interview with you, and that interview is to look at your files and everything. So I had to send them files. and they looked at my files, and we did an interview to see if they was going to take my case, to see if they could help me. So there was no obligation there, so no money or nothing tied with it. So after the interview, they say, okay, we're willing to take your case, but they take how much percentage? If we do get you something,
it's like
we're gonna
5 months.
It's like a certain percentage. So at that point, I was like, okay, you're doing all the work. You know, some people kind of like, oh, once they get the money in the end, which I tell you. So we did the interview. They say, okay, we'll take your case. I agreed to give them a certain percentage.
It's just 5 months of it.
Or 5 months or whatever it was, whatever they came up to. And I was like, okay, well, they're doing all the work. So they filled out the paperwork. And actually, it was a little bit sooner than I thought. So we did a interview. They said I qualified. I said, okay, I signed and accepted them to take my case. They filled out the paperwork. I sent it in. Then I got my date to go to VA. Prior to me going to my date, they said let them know when I had the date and what I was being seen for. And then prior to my visit, they have a team that actually visits with you, and they go over everything that you're being seen for and let you know what you got to do. So I felt pretty comfortable with that. I went to the visit, came back. After that, I owed them so much money. So it was a nice amount, but I'm looking at the overall thing is I didn't have anything tied up with it. So it was about like $7,000. So like most people like, oh man, I got to pay them that. So when you look at the overall picture is I'm saving on my taxes on my home. And if you look at the whole year, what I'm going to save, it's way worth it to me, because some people was looking at it like this, like, man, I don't want to give them that money. That's my money. But look, they put the work into it to help you get the money. So I'm looking at it like, no, it's their money. They work for it. And I'm going to get this benefit from now on throughout my life. So that $7,000 was pretty like, what, maybe 3 months.
Well, they give you 5 months or whatever amount of time to pay it off. Yeah. He knocked it out in 3 months. But we looked at it as, man, if I did it myself, it would have been 10, 20 years from now by the time I would have got the benefit until now. So how much? Okay, yeah, take your money. Thank you. Because they found things about me I had no clue was wrong with me. And I did, and it makes sense of why, certain things I just can't do. And it was because of whatever issues I had, and they found it. So they know the medical terms to use.
To link things together, like secondary issues and stuff like that. So I wasn't checking all that when I was doing the submission. So they know how to tie certain disabilities to the different subcategories and all that kind of stuff and make it.
Like, for example, I'll say it. I have sleep apnea, which leads to other stuff, but sleep apnea, I got diagnosed with insomnia, and then they said, oh, you need to get tested for sleep apnea. I'm like, for what? I don't snore, come to find out I don't. Come to find out I have sleep apnea. And I did not know that, which explains why I'm tired, once I get up in the morning or whatever it may be. So that's just an example of using. Mitch and I did pay someone $350 a piece to help with our case, and she wasn't useful at all. Nothing against her, but she just wasn't useful. She did everything that she did, we could have done ourselves. But it's up to the individual. I've had people that say, oh, that costs too much. And I'm like, okay.
No, it don't. It depends on the person.
So, yeah.
Yeah. No, and actually, I have a family member that is going through the process right now. Again, you guys, we'll make sure that we have all the links in the show notes. As we always say, and we put our disclaimer out there, we're not telling you to go with one company over the other. You make your own decisions. We are not financial advisors and planners and attorneys and all that stuff.
For entertainment
purposes only. But I love the fact, I love your mindset behind it. You all were like, okay, yes, this is a lot of money, but I'm looking at the long term. I'm assuming you are now able to be a P&T, now have a permanent 100% where they can't even go back. So it's like, you got to weigh your pros and your cons, and everybody's price is different. It's based off of the amount of percentages that they were able to get you. And so again, you all explore this stuff for yourself. There's information out there. There are resources out there that can help you on this journey. So thank you all so much for sharing that. Oh, and then how do you all find out all this other stuff? Like, how did you all know about the national parks? How did you all know about this supplemental stuff? Like, does this same company instruct you guys on this, or is this something that you all had to dig up yourselves?
Well, VA will send you like a handbook of everything that you do qualify for also. And they also got like a newsletter. They put a lot of this stuff in there as well.
But a lot of it all depends on your state. I know for Illinois, I think if you 90% is tax free, something like that. Each state is different. So in the state of Virginia, if you're 100%, your home tax is exempt. So each state is different, offer different things. But yeah, the VA will send a little packet, and you have to do the research yourself because it's not that detailed, and it's not that they don't want to share. I think it just depends on each state. I did contact our local VA office for, hey, can you give me more information? Tell me more. And they gave me the basis, but just to be honest, word of mouth.
Yeah.
When you become a disabled veterans, other disabled veterans love to talk to you and be like, did you get your money? Did you, like sign up, do this, do that. And so that's how, to be honest, that's how we learned a lot of stuff, by word of mouth.
And let's talk about the duplex and some of the other things that you all have been able to do.
So yeah, during the pandemic, I don't remember.
We found out things about ourselves. Like, I like dropping off kids and picking them up, so stuff like that, that make you work there. So you're like, okay, how can I do this more often?
Yeah. So I had been told, Mitch, that once we become debt free, and I told him that don't let me become 100%, I'm done. But we had to come up with ways of having passive income. And we do have a rental property in Georgia. And my cousin had posted that she became a realtor in Tennessee. And so I was like, she's new. That means she's hungry. Let me build another team, because I have teams everywhere. We have one in Florida, because we have some land property in Florida. I got kind of a team in Georgia. Let me build one here. And so, to be honest, I did the research in my head, didn't do good research, but I knew that since it was a pandemic, I wouldn't be able to travel to the property and look at it or anything like that. The prices was something that we could afford if, something happened, because the cost of living is much cheaper than Northern Virginia. So, and I knew that I needed to purchase something that was brand new or less than 5 years old. And I got lucky. We got lucky, but I think I did all the work. Because Mitch really didn't want to go in it. He was like, no. And me being that daring person, I was like, nope, this is it. This is the property. And it was a lot of hoops, because I think I put in an offer in August or something. It was summertime, but we didn't close until maybe this year, did we? Yeah, January this year. It took it took a long time. So and the owner was very, very nice, because I ended up sending the promised money
payment
to the wrong place. It was just crazy, but it was all on me. But because I was doing multiple things, with pandemic and homeschooling, and we had a lot of tragic things that happened in the family during the pandemic. It was just a lot. So, but the property is brand new, brand spanking new duplex. And, put money, 25% down on it. My uncle, my mom's brother, so this is my uncle, lives near the place. So he was able to go drive to it and actually lay his hands on it. I have my other cousin actually mowing the yard. So it's like keeping it in the family. And what was so crazy that during appraisal time, they had no properties that was equivalent to this one because it was brand new and it was nice. And so I was kind of scared. I think Mitch was more scared than I was of what to charge the tenants. He was real scared. He was like, man, I don't think you should go with this. I'm like, no, you don't. Brand new duplex. Nah, this is a good one. So, and I put it this way, just one of the doors can pay not only the mortgage, it pays the insurance, it pays my cousin more in the yard, it pays everything, just one of the doors. So the other door is I just either put money aside for, anything may happen, or, my goal is to lease a car or something, put in the business name and do it that way and have that pay for it. And so we also paying off our rental property in Georgia, which we have like probably less than 12,000. We're going to knock it out before the end of the year. Easy. And the way we did that was we put $10,000 or $12,000 towards the interest, which allowed the payments to be lower.
So the principal.
Thank you. The principal to allow the interest rates to be lower. And that's how we've been attacking the that rental property in Georgia. So yeah, we purchased property during the pandemic. and it happened right at the right time because
right before the prices of everything went up.
So we're looking for other, but we're not going to purchase no time soon. We're just looking now. But my goal, or our goal, because we talked about it, is to get duplexes and maybe a fourplex or something like that, even if we have to build it ourselves, and rent them out to veterans, because there are programs out there such as like Section 8, but they're for veterans, and that's that's guaranteed money, but that's something that we're giving back to our fellow brothers and sisters. So we're looking at that also in the near future. But the rental property is going very well, and I'm very involved in who moves into the place. I have a property manager too, so I laid out things that you don't pick them, I pick them, that kind of thing. So it works. It's working out.
That's awesome, you guys.
And we're proud of y'all.
Very proud of you all. So proud of you guys and all of the wonderful things that you all have been able to accomplish since we last spoke in 2019.
Y'all didn't give up. Y'all didn't even slow down. Matter of fact, y'all sped up. You know what I mean? So y'all are a great example of what can be done. You can do this when times are peaceful. You can do this in a global pandemic. There's nothing stopping you but you. If you have the sheer will, determination, you can get it done. And what's dope about, if I humbly say so myself, what's dope about this here, His and Her Money Show, is that we show that there are so many different ways to get to the end goal. And y'all are another fantastic example of just that. So salute to you guys. I think in total, you all knocked out almost $150,000 of debt. Hello, somebody. Congratulations.
Hit their FI number and purchase a duplex.
I'm about to just walk away from it all and just live.
Incredible.
Huh? We're just super proud of y'all because y'all are at the point in life where y'all can just walk away from it all and just live your life to the fullest. So congratulations and salute to you both.
I do have one thing to say for the both of you guys, and I hope I don't get teary up. But when I did decide that I'm gonna call it quits from the job, and I'm not gonna say when I'm doing it. I'll tell you guys offline what's going on. I just, I was confused, and I went on YouTube, and you guys were talking about how Talent was talking about how you called your wife Ty and said, "Hey, I think this is it," and you was kind of scared and stuff like that. And I just listened to your story and stuff, and I'm like, if they could do it, why can't I do it? What am I afraid of? And so I just thank you guys a lot because, you think what we've done. And when Mitch and I was writing down what all the things we accomplished, we were like, golly, we accomplished a lot. But it's because of people like you. You really keep us motivated and going and pushing. And yeah, we're virtual. We never met. But it's like we've always known each other. It's like we calling our siblings and saying, "Hey, what are you doing? What? And you may not have the answers, but you provide the resources to get to where we want to be." So we want to just thank you for that. We so gracious. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
That means a whole lot to hear. It's motivating for us because, that's at the heart of the work that we do. We only turned on this camera 7 years ago for the first time because we had people like you in mind and people like the listener in mind, where we could take our story, the things that we learned up until that point, and the things we were getting ready to learn, and use that as tools to help other people on whatever journey that they are on as well. So thank you so much for sharing that and sharing your story.
Yes, thank you.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another fantastic debt-free story.
Oh my gosh, thoroughly enjoyed that. I hope that you all were able to learn from this beautiful couple. And just, if anything, learn to not give up, learn to dig deeper, discover more, ask more questions, research, do whatever you have to do in order to help your financial journey and your financial health.
For them, it was about really digging their heels into their disability situation from both of their careers in the military. For you, it could be something else, but whatever the heck it is, dig in. Do what you got to do to get to that end goal. You have to do this because Superman ain't coming. You're Superman. You're Superwoman. You have to do what it takes to take control of your story and your destiny.
Yeah,
so we hope that you guys were super inspired by their journey. And as Ty mentioned, everything that they talked about from J.L. Collins' book, The Simple Path to Wealth, to the veteran resources will be in the description box under this video.
Share this video. I'm sure everybody knows somebody that's in the military or a veteran. Everybody. So if it's not you currently, if it's a family or a friend, you all send them this episode. I really believe this episode is going to help so many people out there.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this audio via podcast app, just scroll up and look in the show notes and all the links will be there as well. That's all we got for this time, guys. Until next time. Peace.
Bye, y'all.